Hi everyone. Today I want to talk a little bit about calculators and how they relate to some basic principles involving division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. The basic elementary operations. Now, I have three calculators here, ranging from simplest to most complicated, and we're only going to use them for very simple features, so this one would be perfectly fine. However, this one only has a single line, so you can only see things one thing at a time. These two let you see what you've actually input and go back and readjust it. So, if I was going to buy one and I needed a scientific calculator, something like this would be the best. Now, I don't really care about Texas Instruments or not. Casio is just as good of a brand, so are a lot of others. But because this will have two lines of information, and I'll show you just a sec what I mean by that, you can actually see what you're doing as you're doing it and make changes as you're going. This one has a lot of info that you can deal with and a lot of other stuff. It's called a graphing calculator. If you don't need it, don't bother with it. So, I'm going to turn them all on. Now, notice on the simplest one, all it has is this one line. It has a number, 0, right there. This one, notice how it has a cursor and it's only in the top half. There's this whole bottom half that has yet to be filled in. And then this one, really tiny cursor, lots of empty space. So, here's what happens. Let's do something really simple first. I'm going to do 2 times 3 in each calculator. So, the simplest one, I go to the 2 times 3. And then I press equals. I get 6. Now what you notice I had to do is I had to press 2, then the times button, 3, and then the equals button. Now, that is possible as long as you know what you're doing each step and that you haven't accidentally pressed a different button along the way and you didn't press divide instead of multiply. Hard to see what's going on. Same thing in this one. Notice it has 2 times 3, and then I press enter for 6. You can see what you did. If I accidentally press the divide key, I'd know. If I press something else, I'd know. This one helps just a little bit with understanding that. Now this one does the same thing as this one. This one's a whole lot more money. So if you don't need a graphing calculator, definitely go for something like this, where it's just a command line. These are $12 at most. Now, here's the thing I really want to get into. If I'm going to write a problem on the board, and it will be incredibly easy to solve in your head. The challenge will be putting it into the calculator correctly. So, I'm going to use this one because of the 3. I think it's the best for doing simple operations like this. So, here's the problem. We are going to take several numbers, and divide by another. Now, in your head, you should already have noticed what the answer is. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 divided by 2, we get 4. But there's a problem when we toss that into a calculator. In a calculator, I see this error all the time. People go over to their calculator, do 3 plus 5, and then they see the divide and they go divided by 2. And they get an answer of 5.5. That's not right. Let me try it again. 3 plus 5 divided by 2. It's not 5.5. We know it's 4. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So where is the problem? We know the answer is 4. Why are we getting 5.5? Well, in your calculator, in this command line, look carefully at what the operations we're doing. We have an addition and we have a division. In the order of operations, your calculator understands which order we've established. And in the order of operations, divisions come before additions. So what this calculator is actually doing is 5 divided by 2 and then adding 3. That's not what this means. In order to get what this means, we need to add this stuff first and then divide by 2. There's a way to do that in your calculator, but we need to make sure that it puts priority over these two numbers rather than the division first. The way to do that is to put parentheses in. Remember, parentheses come in the order of operations before divisions. So, here's what we do. We go back up into our command line. Again, the reason I like the command line. you can go back up and put stuff in. Parentheses, 3 plus 5 divided by 2. Now it's going to understand that do the stuff in parentheses first, divide by 2 after you've done that. Answer's 4. This is so common of an error, I catch it on at least one person's test every time I give them. Similar to that, is when the addition or the other stuff is in the denominator, when it's in the bottom part of the fraction. So I'm going to give you another problem to try right now. I want you to think about it. Now, again, not too hard, but the answer will be a fraction. 4 divided by 3 plus 5. In our heads, we automatically do the addition first. We do 3 plus 5, we get 8. 4 over 8 is 1/2. Well, if we use our calculator correctly, we should get that. But here's the error. People do 4 divided by 3 plus 5. That's that, right? 4 divided by 3 plus 5. I see a 4, I see a divide, I see a 3, and I see a plus 5. Well, if I press enter, do I get 1/2? 6.33333333. I don't know. Seem right to you? Doesn't seem right to me. Now, same thing as the other one. We want this whole thing to be divided. 4 divided by this whole thing. So, what we need to do is, again, add parentheses. Parentheses here, parentheses here. There we go, 0.5. We put parentheses around the bottom, it does it right. Now, a lot of calculators will have ways to actually put that into fraction form and other stuff. This one happens to have it as a converter right there. There's some other ones that just have an immediate button, but 1/2. It might be a little bit hard to see, but it's 1/2. So, the main problem with division in your calculator is you're not keeping track of which terms are actually in the numerator and which terms are in the denominator. Add parentheses routinely if there's more than one thing going on in either. Thank you, and we'll continue with more calculator stuff next time.